Assalamu alaikum, this is Waleed Rana and I'm back with yet another exciting episode of On the Grid with eCube Solutions Private Limited. This is episode number 3 and today we have brought an amazing individual who is also the first woman to feature on our podcast series. eCube Solutions Private Limited is a solar EPC company. We provide solar solutions in domestic, commercial, and industrial sectors of Pakistan, and we believe in not just selling our products, but to solve your energy problems right at your doorstep. Today, the accomplished individual that I have is a founder of a very famous Facebook group with over 60,000 members, most of which are women, and it has a reach of about 1.5 lakh people. This accomplished individual has also been a war journalist और उस वॉर जर्नलिज्म में इन्होंने एक कुछ ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस किया था जो हम इस पॉडकास्ट के एंड में इनसे उसकी स्टोरी भी सुनेंगे. This individual is a graduate from Columbia University. She has had not just one but two master's degrees. One is one is Masters of Science in Journalism. The other is a Fellowship Masters of Arts. She started this Facebook group just very new. It's a very young group. Started off in October 2019, and this group is called Scaryammi. Scaryammi, ladies and gentlemen, is an online support group for mothers and a platform for sharing parenting stories. This online group for mothers has also now converted into a group for mothers and fathers. And we share the founder of Scaryammi shares stories of how to better parent your children and what are the needs that today's children need in today's time. This individual, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than Ayesha Nasir. Assalamu alaikum, Ayesha.
Walaikum salam. Thank you for the lovely introduction.
No problem at all. It's our pleasure, Ayesha. How are you feeling today, Ayesha? Post, diagnosed with COVID, and then you have been a brave recovery individual in the coronavirus scheme of things. So, how did you manage the whole disease?
Achha, so it was 5 of us who were tested positive for COVID-19. 4 of us, 2 of my children and me and my husband, and one domestic helper. And then my daughter had like a headache and very mild fever. So even though her test was negative, according to WHO, we assumed she was positive because the guidelines are कि अगर आपको symptoms हो और exposure हो to COVID positive individuals जो उसको था because उसके parents were positive and उसके भाई were positive, तो अगर आपका test negative भी आए आपने assume करना है positive. तो हम 6 लोग थे, तो हमारा पूरा घर was a quarantine zone. जो negative थे उनको फिर हमने घर से मतलब भेज दिया, like मेरा छोटा बेटा, उसकी नानी, फिर they moved to my in-laws. तो in our case we were completely asymptomatic, and I think हमारी story में जो interesting बात है वो ये है कि COVID-19 इतना फैल चुका है, इतना rampant है, because I have an MBBS degree, so as a doctor I can tell you कि इतना फैल चुका हुआ है कि 80% of the people, सबसे बड़ा जो इसका नुकसान है वो ये है कि 80% of the people will not know कि उन्हें COVID है. जैसे I had no symptoms at all. The only reason कि मेरा test हुआ is because obviously as a doctor, I understand how serious the disease is and we were more alert than maybe a normal individual जो नहीं understand करता. And my husband had very mild fever, very mild. तो शायद अगर वो किसी और को होता तो वो सोचते भी ना टेस्ट कराने का. लेकिन because हम बहुत personally हम दोनों, like my father is vice chancellor of UHS, तो हमारे घर में health is a very big topic and we're very aware of कि COVID का क्या नुकसान है, not just for us but for people around us.
Right.
So when Nasir had a mild fever, so my father was like, get tested. And since we doctors, it wasn't a problem for us to get tested. Like किसी के लिए भी problem नहीं है, but like we knew who to call. वो foreign आ गए, they did our tests. So majority of the people would be asymptomatic. And obviously that is a huge issue because then that is where the infection spreads without you even knowing.
Absolutely. Aisha, there has been a very famous theory because if you look at the larger picture of the entire world, we are very short of ventilators. We don't have, countries like us, we don't have proper medical facilitation for people who are diagnosed with COVID-19. So for example, in your case, you did not have any symptoms, you did not
Yes.
have cough, you did not have, and then your husband also had a mild fever. So do you recommend, also being a doctor, do you recommend to not go to the hospital and not get admitted there, but just rather stay at your own house and quarantine at your own house? Do you recommend that?
अच्छा, मैं लोगों को बार बार ये कहती हूँ कि देखें, कोविड-19 इज़ अ ग्लोबल पैंडेमिक, राइट? इसके एसओपीज़ और प्रोटोकॉल्स बने हुए हैं, फॉलो दोज, जो हम लोग लाइक नहीं फॉलो करते, लाइक एवरी डे आई गेट। तो मैंने अपनी कोविड-19 की जर्नी को बहुत पब्लिक किया, लाइक आई स्पोक ओपनली अबाउट इट, एंड आई थिंक जब मैंने बात की थी अबाउट 20 डेज पहले, तो कोई नहीं बात, लाइक लोग छुपा रहे थे, लोग डर रहे थे, टेस्ट नहीं कराते थे, करवाते थे तो छुपा देते थे रिजल्ट। When I became really public, उसके बाद I saw a lot of people becoming public के मतलब my story was shared like 10,000 times. The fact कि मैंने stamp लगाया अपनी pictures पे और कहा yes I'm COVID positive. So and a lot of people reached out to me उसके बाद, and I tell them the same thing, they can follow the SOP. The SOP is कि अगर आपके mild to moderate symptoms हैं तो आपने घर पे ही isolate करना है, and like कुछ criteria है जिसकी basis पे आपने hospital जाना है, और अगर आप वो नहीं follow करते ना SOPs, तो सिर्फ आपका नुकसान नहीं है, उस इंसान का भी नुकसान है जिसको शायद हॉस्पिटल बेड की ज़रूरत थी, और बिकॉज आपकी सिफारिश ज़्यादा है आपको चली गई। लाइक माई पेरेंट्स ओन अ हॉस्पिटल, तो हमारे लिए हॉस्पिटल जाना wasn't a problem, but we didn't go because हम कहीं से भी SOPs, मतलब माइल्ड, हमारे तो माइल्ड भी नहीं थे सिम्टम्स, तो जब तक माइल्ड टू मॉडरेट सिम्टम्स में आपके ऑक्सीजन लेवल doesn't come close to 90, आपको ब्रीदिंग डिफिकल्टीज ना शुरू हो, आपका फीवर मैनेज ना हो, मतलब कुछ क्राइटेरिया है वो हम मीट नहीं करते थे, तो हम नहीं गए हॉस्पिटल एट ऑल। बट आई रियली फील कि एज अ कॉम ना हम लोग SOPs में नहीं बिलीव करते, एंड मतलब इसीलिए लाइक मुझे पर्सनली मेरा ये ओपिनियन है कि लॉकडाउन का भी इतना फ़ायदा नहीं है, बिकॉज अगर आपकी कॉम इज़ नॉट विलिंग टू फॉलो SOPs, तो जाहिर है अब आप उनको घरों के अंदर दरवाज़ों पे लॉक्स तो नहीं लगा सकते, एंड अगर आप लॉक लगा भी दो तो वो दीवारें फैला के चले जाएंगे, मतलब टिल आर पीपल, मतलब लुक एट if न्यूजीलैंड में अभी न्यूजीलैंड हैज रिकवर्ड फुल्ली, एंड अब तो वो अपनी इकोनॉमिक रिकवरी की बातें कर रहे हैं, इन आर केस हम हेल्थ क्राइसिस की बात कर रहे हैं, मतलब दोनों मुल्कों में एक ही मसाइल आए, लुक एट हाउ बैडली वी आर इन इट, मतलब ऑस्ट्रेलिया हैज कम आउट ऑफ इट, एंड इतने, और आई थिंक दुबई इज कमिंग आउट ऑफ इट, हम तो वी आर गोइंग डीपर एंड डीपर इनटू दिस प्रॉब्लम, हम तो इकोनॉमिक रिकवरी का भी सोच ही नहीं सकते, अभी तो हम मतलब स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं। सो SOP इज एन एंटायर गेम ऑफ SOPs, अगर हमारी कॉम सुन ले बात तो ये क्राइसिस इतना बड़ा ना हो, बट हम नहीं सुनना चाह रहे, तो
so we would urge all our audience to please follow the SOPs regardless of whatever we're doing. It is very, very important that you save yourself from this lethal virus, and you please follow SOPs regardless of whether you think it is a rumor or if it is a reality, whatever your thought process is. Please, just to be sure, just to be precautious, follow those SOPs, and you might stop 1,000 people from getting coronavirus yourself. So, coming back to today's topic that we have, you chose a very, very incredible topic. You wanted to talk about the role of household consumers in adopting renewable energy technologies in Pakistan. So, we would like to, ask you a few questions regarding that. So, first and foremost, Ayesha, I would like to ask you, can you please enlighten us about the energy needs of a general household?
Sure. अच्छा, जो when you talk about a household in Pakistan, right? So even though like we're a very male-dominant society, the household is really the woman's kingdom. Like honestly, I feel कि अगर हम Napoleon said this, and ये Scaryammi के पीछे भी idea था कि give me good mothers and I will give you a great nation. And मैं अक्सर ये कहती हूँ कि educate, inform, make the mothers of Pakistan aware, and आपके इतने बड़े issues would resolve. So when we talk about energy crisis, I think one of the reasons कि अभी तक ये भी एक crisis रहा है, solution की तरफ नहीं किया, is because हमने माओं को नहीं involve किया, जबकि घर के अंदर all the energy decisions directly या indirectly the mother is making. Food processor खरीदना है तो औरत ने खरीदना है, इस्त्री खरीदनी है औरत ने खरीदनी है, वॉशिंग मशीन खरीदनी है औरत ने खरीदनी है, AC, yes, AC में आप कह सकते हो कि आदमी इन्वॉल्व है, TV में इन्वॉल्व है, लेकिन AC और TV के अलावा द हंड्रेड्स ऑफ स्मॉल अप्लायंसेस जो आप यूज़ करते हो, इलेक्ट्रिक अवन लेना है या गैस अवन लेना है, इलेक्ट्रिक केटल लेनी है, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा, ये सारी डिसीजंस आर मेड बाय वुमेन, एंड वुमेन ही ये एनालिसिस करती हैं। अभी तक because I run Scaryammi, so I see it very closely, औरतें ये डिसीजंस करती हैं ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ प्राइस या रिव्यूज, कोई ये डिसीजन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ एनर्जी यूसेज नहीं कर रहा.
And I can back you with the fact that 80% of the consumer decisions in the world are made by women, and it is women and not men who drive the market and who
Yes.
influence brands to actually drive their marketing strategies.
Yeah,
So
bilkul.
yeah, that is a fact
So
rather.
क्योंकि औरतें are not thinking in terms of renewable energy because अभी तक companies have not made an effort to educate the women. Like a
Yeah.
lot of the effort goes towards like मतलब औरतों को ज़्यादा interactive marketing चाहिए होती है, उनको ज़्यादा उनके सवालों के जवाब चाहिए होते हैं. And the way I feel renewable energy is being marketed as a policy decision or as कि पूरे घर को आप सोलर कर दो, तो those are big money decisions जिसमें आदमी involved है. बट अगर आप औरतों को एजुकेट करना शुरू कर दो ऑन वाई इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट कि जब आप इलेक्ट्रिक केटल भी खरीदो तो आप लुक एट द वोल्टेज ऑफ द इलेक्ट्रिक केटल्स, लुक एट द फैक्ट अच्छा कैन यू बाय अ बैटरी ऑपरेटेड वन, कैन यू बाय अ सोलर वन, लाइक बट women are not talking that language. Till women talk that language आपको डोमेस्टिक लेवल पे तो वो चेंज नजर आएगा ही नहीं, like absolutely नहीं आएगा. And even if you look at ads of बिजली and all, it's generally the men in the ad, whereas आदमी are not even home in Pakistan जितना औरतें are home. So even decisions like कमरे से बाहर निकलो, lights off करो, और women decisions like हम ही ने अपने बच्चों को सिखाना है. The man is not going to come home from the office जो हमारा एक traditional setup है and start educating everybody. So everything like the fact कि आप लोग हमारे घरों में अभी भी 3 दफ़ा दिन में cooking होती है भाई, that there is no need. आप एक दफ़ा भी शुरू कर लो, या अभी भी हमारे घर 7 times a week मतलब every single day 3 या 4 दफ़ा खाने बनते हैं, चाय लगा बनती है, या 5 दफ़ा बनते हैं अगर मेहमान आ जाए. तो there is no need. आप एक दफ़ा जब डिनर पका रहे हो, आप 2 दिनों के लिए बनाकर get in the habit of freezing. So basically for example like आपको एक बहुत छोटी सी बताऊं habit. So like अभी भी पाकिस्तान में food is cooked like 3 to 4 times a day. Like separately नाश्ता बनेगा, separately lunch बनेगा, separately चाय के साथ snack, separately रात का. जबकि honestly इसकी कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है, and it's not even a very energy efficient thing. कि आप like let's say if you're making a korma or a chicken कढ़ाई और मतलब जो हमारे घर में gravies बनती हैं, those freeze really well. तो energy wise अगर हमारी औरतें मतलब सोचना शुरू कर दें तो वो एक टाइम का कोरमा मतलब एक टाइम पे वो 2 दिनों का कोरमा बना के she can freeze half. But we don't do it. Most houses
sometimes it also tastes better after
yeah,
freezing.
Yeah, a lot of people say. But हमारे यहाँ for some reason हम इतने energy efficient, हम energy की language ही नहीं बोल रहे.
Exactly.
तो आप वो language नहीं बोल रहे तो फिर उसका फिर आपको obviously हमारे घर are not energy efficient.
Not exactly my point. Ayesha, very well said, very well put. हम भी जब जाते हैं when we see industrialists, when we see consumers in the domestic sector, तो सबसे पहले what we try to educate them is कि सबसे पहला सवाल उनका ये होता है कि जी हमारे ये सब कुछ चल रहा है और इसके लिए हमें सोलर लगाना है और सोलर से हमने ये सब कुछ चलाना है. And then if you look at their houses, their windows are not glazed. They are using excessive ACs. वो एक्सेसिव टाइम पीरियड्स के लिए चल रहे होते हैं, एक्सेसिव फ्रिजेस चल रहे होते हैं, एक्स्ट्रा टाइम पीरियड्स के लिए चल रहे होते हैं. आयरनिंग पीक आवर्स में हो रही होती है जहाँ पे टैरिफ रेट ज़्यादा होता है. लॉन्ड्री सारी आपकी पीक आवर्स में हो रही होती है जहाँ पे टैरिफ रेट ज़्यादा है. एंड दे स्लीप ऑफ ऑल द आवर्स मोस्ट ऑफ द डे जहाँ पे आपके ऑफ पीक आवर्स हैं, जहाँ पे आपको 20 घंटे होते हैं 24 घंटों में, जहाँ पे आपको रेट कम लगता है, ऑलमोस्ट 4-5 रुपीज़ लेसर देन द रेट जो आपको उन 4 शाम के घंटों में लगता है, जो कि ज़्यादा पीक रेट जिसको कहा जाता है. तो द फर्स्ट थिंग वी टेल देम इज़ कि आप अपनी एनर्जी को कंजर्व करें. यू ग्लेज योर विंडोज़, यू देखें कि आपके कितने एसीज़ रिक्वायर्ड हैं, आप कितने एसीज़ को चला के कमरों के दरवाजे खोल के एक एम्बिएंट टेम्परेचर को लोअर कर सकते हैं विदाउट यूजिंग 1 AC पर रूम. और बीइंग एन इंजीनियर आई कैन से कि जो आपकी हुई होती हैं डायनेमिक्स होती हैं घर की, वो इतने एसीज़ होते हैं कि वो शायद एक स्मॉल प्लाजा भी उसके लिए एफिशिएंट हो और वो आराम से उसको कूल डाउन कर दें. लेकिन हमने वो एक कनाल के घर में जो है ना वो सबमर्ज किए होते हैं और वहाँ से वो चल रहे होते हैं. तो उसमें कंजर्व करने के बाद हम हमेशा एजुकेट करते हैं कि then you opt for a renewable energy option regardless of whether it is solar, wind या biofuel, whatever your case scenario is. तो उसकी तरफ बाद में जाना चाहिए. तो ये एक चीज़ है जो आई थिंक बड़ी हाईलाइट करनी ज़रूरी थी कि फर्स्ट कंजर्व योर एनर्जी. तो उसी सिलसिले में कंजर्विंग एनर्जी एंड हाउ current circumstances are changing your energy problems. तो उसमें my next question to you is कि how do you think COVID-19 has reshaped Pakistan's energy needs at the household level?
I think the energy needs have become a lot higher, and I'm sure our bills are going to be like sky high right now, unless and until the government gives allowances, because इतनी देर कभी भी पाकिस्तानी घर नहीं बैठे जिस तरह
$2 by the way आयशा बढ़ गया गवर्नमेंट का ये recent allowance है.
But बीच में उन्होंने कम नहीं किया था. बीच में they did
शायद
talk.
हल्का सा कम हुआ था.
They did talk about like a allowance of permission, but
recently it's not
yes,
okay.
I think the government's also only looking at the bottom line. So if you look at like a family of 6 जैसे मेरी है, so पहले my children would go to school, so 4 of them but mashallah all go to school. So वो जो 5-6 hours थे, they weren't at home using the घर की energy. Now every child needs their own laptop because everything is online, right? So even though laptops बहुत ज़्यादा energy नहीं use करते, but वो 5-5, 6-6 घंटे अब those children are online. फिर obviously वो अलग-अलग कमरों में बैठे हुए हैं because same time पे classes चल रही हैं. So when they're sitting in separate rooms, तो उधर ACs और पंखे चल रहे हैं या at least पंखे चल रहे हैं. तो 4 कमरों में 4 फर्क बच्चे are using 4 different sources of energy at the same time, which was not the case पहले. फिर parents also working from home, like I'm working from home. बीच में we went back to the office, now we're back to working from home. So now I'm also in a separate room. ताकि इतना even if I share a room with one child, right? And then again I'm also like on the laptop, and then and I feel because people are home more, there's more cooking going on, like a lot more cooking. Because अब लोग like क्या करें घर पे?
And
like
Lahoris,
we are Lahori, yes.
They will just eat in their free time.
They will eat, and now they are cooking a lot more. So there's so much cooking going on. So obviously the kitchen is using a lot more. And then a lot of mothers, because they're home, they're like चलो अब सफाइयाँ extra कर लेते हैं. So अब वो bed sheets भी धुल रही हैं, शायद कभी नहीं धुली. And obviously लोगों के minds में corona के साथ corona is linked to hygiene. So to be super careful. Now like I've seen that bed sheets are being washed every week. जबकि पहले it wasn't like that. Like हर हफ्ते towels के साथ like OCD वाली washings हो रही हैं कि एक दफा use हुआ wash करा एक दफा. मतलब
even
like,
the clothes I think every 2 days.
Yes, like अब बहुत like extensive level पे घर की washing शुरू हो गई है जो पहले नहीं होती थी, right? Like we wouldn't be like मतलब उस तरह नहीं हम
not that we were not hygiene.
Yeah, but like अब तो हम OCD हो गए ना because we so scared. So we like when we recovered from COVID, हमने पूरा अपना घर disinfect करवाया. We had every single like bed sheet literally boiled because you scared. So you like जो कर सकते हो करो. And hence I feel our energy needs have like really multiplied. And obviously because we're so scared, तो हम ज़्यादा like energy like हम TV बहुत ज़्यादा देख रहे हैं. Like Netflix हर वक्त चल रहा है. Because एक तो we don't हमें बिल्कुल भी आदत नहीं है कि हमने सबने घर बैठना है पूरा दिन. हम उस तरह का हमारा culture था ही नहीं. Right? Like I mean if you go to like the suburbs of America, तो उधर 7 PM के बाद आपको hardly लोग बाहर नजर आएंगे on weekdays. Right? Hardly. It's a very like residential area.
And they're out in the cafes at 6 AM in the morning.
Yes. Yeah. उनका तो 5 बजे like
Exactly.
literally the suburb वो उनके subways are packed because people have to go to work. But 7 PM के बाद like वो लोग वैसे एक energy efficient nation थे. Right? Like वो उनकी shops would close on time. Our shops don't close at all. अब this new lifestyle we're adjusting to it by using up more energy. Because जब हम घबरा इतना गए हैं कि we're not even thinking energy. We're not thinking diet. Like I think the obesity, like everybody's gaining weight, our fitness is falling. We're not thinking like that. We're simply thinking कि अपने आप को बचाओ. तो या अपने आप को distract करो. तो वो फिर distraction is खाना and TV. And calm and school is now online. So honestly, like I think COVID will lead us to an energy crisis for sure. अगर God forbid ये और दिन चलता रहा, because हमारा setup ही ये नहीं है. जो अब बन गया है. So इतनी पहले ही we were in an energy deficit. So the deficit is going to definitely grow.
Yeah, perfect. I completely agree with you. आपने तो आप being a mother सबसे पहले electricity bills भी आपके पास ही आते होंगे and for. तो tentatively आपने कुछ इसमें difference भी देखा होगा. What do you think? 20% increase आया, 30% आया अगर आपका इस महीने का bill versus आपका कुछ महीने पहले के bill?
I think about a 35%. I also have a bigger family. Like generally, the average family size in Pakistan अब 4 है. तो ours is mashallah 6.
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा.
So 35% for sure.
So
And
that's
abhi to peak garmi aa rahi hai.
yeah.
And I don't know, yes, it's definitely going to go up by even 50%, I'm guessing.
हाँ.
You know, I don't know अब ये कितनी देर तक like this will go on.
So इसी में मतलब मेरा एक और क्वेश्चन है कि do you think the households are looking for alternative source of energies because of the rise in the tariffs?
I think they should, but I feel that COVID-19 has really stunted like economic growth. Obviously, in fact, stunted and reversed to a huge degree. So I feel that while alternative energy एक ऐसा topic था जिसके ऊपर हम बात करना शुरू हो गए थे. I know मेरे अपने घर में भी renewable energy, we would talk about it. We would talk about कि अच्छा maybe we should get a solar. बहुत से लोग बात कर रहे थे because मेन इसका एडवांटेज एक इकोनॉमिक एडवांटेज है ना कि आपका बिल बहुत कम हो जाता है.
पाकिस्तान में तो एब्सोल्युटली सिर्फ वही पॉइंट है जिसकी वजह से लोग लगाते हैं सोलर बिकॉज इट गिव्स देम अ बफर इकोनॉमिकली.
अभी the idea of sustainability for the community like अभी भी ना हम लोग ऐसे community नहीं सोचते, हम ऐसे individuals सोचते हैं, which is why COVID-19 में ये मसले हो रहे हैं कि अगर हम दूसरों का भी सोचना शुरू कर दें तो फिर हम शायद ना निकलें घरों से. पर हमें लगता है अच्छा मुझे तो बुखार नहीं है मैं तो बाहर जाऊँ, राइट. सो बिकॉज हमारी सोच एक कम्युनिटी की सोच नहीं है, इसलिए जब हम रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी का भी सोचते हैं ना तो हम फाइनेंशियली सोचते हैं कि अच्छा मेरा बिजली का बिल आधे से भी कम हो जाएगा, क्वार्टर पे आ जाएगा, यू नो 1/10 पे भी आ जाते हैं. लाइक आई हर्ड कि यू नो दैट्स द बिगेस्ट एडवांटेज, राइट. तो लेकिन ऑब्वियसली उसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट इज अप फ्रंट एंड अभी लाइक दिस इज अ टाइम जहाँ पर आई फील पाकिस्तान की इकॉनमी हैज़ बिन सो बैडली हिट कि इसका अभी तक आई थिंक हमें स्ट्राइक भी नहीं किया. सो आई एम पार्ट ऑफ प्लान 9 विच इज़ द पंजाब इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी इंक्यूबेटर. तो उनका लाइक उनकी ऑब्वियसली अप्रोच यही है कि वो स्टार्टअप्स को सपोर्ट करते हैं. स्टार्टअप्स जिनको उनको लगता है कैन कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट टू द इकॉनमी, कैन गो ऑन टू एम्प्लॉय पीपल. सो इट्स वन ऑफ द गुड इनिशिएटिव्स बाय द गवर्नमेंट. काफ़ी पुराना इनिशिएटिव है. आई थिंक हम लोग थे कोहर्ट 13 या 14.
राइट.
सो अब आई सॉ अराउंड में कि अगर उन्होंने एक टाइम पे 20 स्टार्टअप्स को ना वो एट वन टाइम प्रमोट करते हैं तो आई थिंक 20 में से 12 तो शायद बंद हो गए, राइट. एंड 8 में से प्रॉबेबली 4 ने ले ऑफ्स किए, डाउनसाइजिंग की. एंड आई डोंट ब्लेम देम बिकॉज स्टार्टअप आप उस कंपनी को कहते हो जिसकी कोई डीप पॉकेट्स नहीं है.
एग्जैक्टली.
ठीक है, जो पैसे आ रहे हैं वो लग रहे हैं. देयर इज नथिंग एज सच जो रिजर्व में रखा जा रहा है या जो एक्स्ट्रा पैसे रखे जा रहे हैं, ऐसी कोई सिचुएशन नहीं है. whatever you are putting into the company is going into the company, right? जो भी पैसे आ रहे हैं is being मतलब a lot of founders तो salaries भी नहीं लेते, right? Like मतलब those who like I don't take a salary from Scaryammi because मुझे होता है कि सारे पैसे should go into building the business building.
So Ayesha, you've seen कि हम देखते हैं डिफेंस में भी और बाकी जगहों पे भी कि as of today डिफेंस की अगर मैं बात करूँ लाहौर में तो every 4th or 5th house has a solar installed on top. So that means that from every 5 households there has been one person who has opted for a renewable source of energy. इसकी यूटिलाइजेशन तो बहुत अच्छी है environmentally wise. इसको आप अपने ग्रीन हाउस गैस रिडक्शंस कर सकते हैं इससे. But primarily we have seen कि people who opt for solar energy in Pakistan are opting for a more economically easier solution. तो उसमें आप मुझे ये बताएं कि how can solar companies facilitate the masses, especially in the domestic level, to opt for the solar energy?
I think जो सबसे बड़ा hindrance है for people to opt for a solar energy is the money, because I think it's about 6 lakhs, 7 lakhs upfront जो pay करना होता है, and especially given COVID. I don't think people have that kind of money anymore, and if they do, they're saving it. कि God forbid कोई उनके खानदान में COVID का patient बन जाए and he needs a ventilator support, because obviously all this is private. So they're saving that money. It's like everybody's emergency fund money, right? So is situation mein, and given that our economy is going to be under recession for a while, I think the biggest incentive for people would be like a low interest installment plan, jahan par wo monthly like 10,000 type pay kar le ya 12, which is a very small amount, and obviously unka bill usse zyada ka kam ho raha hai to unke upar financial burden nahi hai, and then they pay for it over a time. So I feel like ये बहुत बड़ा incentive है. दूसरा obviously Pakistan is an economy of distrust. We don't trust each other. Like ये हमारा एक issue है, rightly or wrongly, but मैंने भी अगर किसी के साथ when I work with big companies मुझे इतना डर नहीं होता, but like if I work with a smaller company खुद भी, so I also have like a number of safeguards in plan in place, and मुझे भी यही डर होता है कि what if that person doesn't pay, what if their check dishonors, and we are an economy of distrust. Very sad, but it's true. So I feel कि अगर आप after sales services पे लोगों को convince करने.
So Aisha, how do you think solar companies can facilitate domestic consumers in terms of financing?
So I think the biggest hindrance जो अभी किसी भी domestic consumer को आती है, और अब ज़्यादा आएगी after COVID-19 because of our economy, is the upfront payment जो करनी पड़ती है for solar. So I think if there was a way कि low interest पे installments हो जाएं, reasonable installments हो जाएं, time period ज़्यादा हो जाए ताकि the installment comes to like 15,000, 12,000. So I think that would be a huge attraction for the domestic consumer.
Yeah, well, I have a good news for you. State Bank of Pakistan ने 4 साल पहले they launched a scheme in which they wanted consumers to, they wanted to encourage consumers to have solar energy. So as of now, all local banks, mostly all of them, are offering solar power solutions with no KIBOR at all and with 6% fixed interest. So if any individual wants to opt for a solar power and does not have an upfront amount to pay for, they can obviously go through a bank. And जो उसमें आपका जो second concern था कि जो fraud issues हैं और जो concerns लोगों को आते हैं कि पता नहीं लोग पैसे लेके भाग ना जाएं, तो वो बैंक involve करने से the consumer is also safe, because then the bank holds the company accountable. उनकी सारी वो जो registration होती है, जो companies panel पे हैं, वो भी filtered out होती हैं, and then the company is also safe, because on the other hand, the second side of the picture is कि लोग solar लगवा लेते हैं और पे pay नहीं करते, तो वो भी आपका जो है वो cover हो जाता है. तो I think it's a mutually beneficial policy for both the consumer and the company.
Yes.
So that's, I think
that's amazing. If this exists, more people should know about it. Because I think it's extremely beneficial.
Exactly. And उसमें आपने जो third point raise किया था, I think after sales का था, right?
Yes.
उसमें
because I think we are still an economy of distrust, an economy that doesn't trust its vendors. मतलब अगर आप किसी भी औरत को देखें जब वो कपड़ा लेने like औरत जाएगी तो she'll be like नहीं तो महंगा बेच रहे हो. मतलब she will never believe that the Pathan who is selling it सही कीमत पे बेच रहा है. She will never, नहीं तो महंगा बेच रहा है. या जो तुम कह रहे हो ये वो है ही नहीं. तुम कह रहे हो दिल्ली का है, मैं कहती हूँ ये इचरे का है. मतलब हमारी language ही अब distrust की बन गई है. Literally, like अगर somebody is saying कि I am selling Lindt chocolate cupcakes, तो जब हमें मिलेंगे and if we don't like it, the first thing we'll say is उसने Lindt chocolate नहीं use की, वो fraud है. We're very quick to use these words कि ये तो fraud है. And like too quick, मतलब honestly, like I run an e-commerce, और मुझे लगता है कि अगर हम मतलब obviously as a business, and I'm sure आप लोगों का भी यही होगा, मेरा यही दिल होता है कि we develop trust, ठीक है. Literally अगर 1 घंटा ना reply करो आप, so they're like आप लोग तो fraud है, and we like मतलब literally I'm sure आप लोग भी यही face करते होगे, because हमारी economy is an economy of distrust. So वो trust gain करने के लिए आपको after sale services को एक amazing करना है कि दूसरा बंदा कहे और आप मतलब उसको मसला आया है और आप लोग 5 मिनट में पहुंच जाओ, because हमें ट्रस्ट वो गेन करना है. हमारी इकोनॉमी में ट्रस्ट खत्म हो, इसलिए तो क्रेडिट कार्ड्स ऑनलाइन नहीं कोई देता.
बिल्कुल ऐसी है. एंड टू आंसर दैट क्वेश्चन आयशा, आई थिंक हमने उस चीज़ को इस तरह से हम लोग केटर करते हैं एज अ बिजनेस दैट वी हैव सर्टेन सर्टिफिकेशंस टू शो फॉर व्हाट वी आर केपेबल ऑफ, राइट? सो वी हैव PEC certifications, which is the Pakistan Engineering Council certification. We have HEC certifications, which is the Higher Education Commission certifications, and then we are also approved vendor for net metering, which is the bi-directional metering, which is available in Pakistan for the past 4 years. और उसको monitor करती है AEDB, which is Alternate Energy Development Board. So all these bodies are AEDB and PEC. They come under NEPRA, which is the National Energy for Power and Development Authority. So उसके साथ जो भी affiliated company है which falls under these certifications, I think they are trustworthy, because वो काफ़ी सारे rigorous filtration process से होके वहाँ पे गुजरी होती हैं. और I think आजकल तो बात ये भी है सोलर की कि अगर पाकिस्तान में कोई चीज़ चलना शुरू हो जाए ना, तो हमारा एक और माइंडसेट है एज ए नेशन कि हम हर बंदा अपना लगी रोजी छोड़ के, अपना लगा बिजनेस छोड़ के उस चीज़ में
हर बंदे ने मास्क मंगवा लिए हैं या मास्क बना लिए.
Exactly. और हर बंदा tries to.
Everybody is trying to sell them. Yes, we don't believe in expertise, which is wrong.
Exactly.
Like literally, like COVID-19 जब आई तो obviously मास्क चाहिए थे, तो people who have never dealt in masks are now making masks. And like anything else, masks को भी certificates चाहिए. it's not कि आपने कपड़ा
Exactly.
पकड़ा और elastic लगा
Exactly,
दिया.
exactly.
It's a fully certifiable product.
Yeah.
So we are selling it without certificates.
Exactly.
because
So, for
बेच
example,
देते
if you see this is an actual panel, and essentially all panels look the same. So, यही एक जो है वो sort of disadvantage है इस industry का कि as a consumer and as a layman, you can't identify कि कौन सा solar
It's
panel.
the same with the mask. आपको नहीं पता चलता कि ये fake है कि असल है.
Exactly. I've literally seen people जो पहले जिनकी रोटी की दुकान थी उन्होंने अब solar panels लगाए हुए हैं जो कि किसी काम के नहीं होते. And then 2 years down the line 1-1.5 लाख रुपए बचाने के पीछे 2 years down the line their solar panels in their system gets destroyed completely, and then they realize कि हाँ हमसे mistake हुई थी, and then they come back to the company with certifications. तो ये I think एक address है, instead of reinventing the wheel yourself, trust
Yes.
people who are certified, trust
And
people.
I think कि हमारा consumer now should ask for certificates.
Exactly.
Like when we sell products on our e-store, तो कुछ obviously आपको कपड़ों में you don't need certificates. लेकिन I believe कि अगर हम लोग for example कह रहे हैं कि this makhan is organic, so we should be able to provide a certificate saying it is organic and this is the reason we are saying. हम like एवी ना use कर लें ये चीजें. Like even in solar energy, okay, but honestly I believe कि as a consumer we should ask for certificates, and as a seller we should be able to provide them.
Exactly.
Whatever we are saying, if we're
Exactly.
saying 100% cotton, so then show that it's 100% cotton.
Exactly.
Right? If we're saying solar panel is made with this technology, you should have the means to show it.
Yeah.
If we're saying this mask is certified, then show it.
Exactly.
Not कि बस एवी कह दिया.
Exactly. So Aisha, ये तो हो गया all of what we do as a business. बात करते हैं अब Scaryammi की. Scaryammi में मुझे सुनने में मिलता है, of course I'm not a member yet, I would want to though, but उसमें मुझे सुनने को मिलता है कि you have this e-commerce वाली site भी है, उसमें you're providing support as well, mental health पे भी बात होती है. तो what exactly is Scaryammi and what does it aim to achieve?
The Scaryammi began as a support, a platform, an educational platform, an awareness platform for mothers. And now it's become much bigger than that. My aim is for it to become a brand that every Desi Ammi can identify with. And I want it to be like a one-stop solution. So एक देसी mother को वहाँ से awareness भी मिले, वहाँ से guidance भी मिले, entertainment भी मिले, education भी मिले, and वो products भी मिले जिसकी उसको ज़रूरत है. जैसे like newborn essentials, baby gifts, etc. And वो services भी मिले. So अभी obviously हम इतना बड़ा सब कुछ नहीं provide कर पा रहे. But we are growing towards a level कि whatever the needs of a Desi Ammi are, from the need to get a tutor, to the need to ask questions about breastfeeding, to the need to get reviews for birthday decor, to the need to just vent out, to the need to get a solar panel, whatever her needs are, she should know that whatever she is choosing from Scaryammi is backed by trust. So like for example, I just got when I recovered from COVID, मैंने अपनी journey बहुत public की. So then I got my house disinfected by a vendor, and then like hundreds of women then contacted that vendor. Not because मैंने अपना test Al Khidmat से कराया तो thousands of women contacted them. Not because I have shares in Al Khidmat, but because we are trying to provide to them ताकि एक उनको जो time लगना in research वो हमने उनके लिए करके उनको कह रहे हैं कि भाई this was my experience. This is how much they charged me. If you want, this is their number. Obviously. And so because it's an open platform, अगर let's say कोई गया खिदमत और उसका experience बुरा हुआ है, so they have the right to write कि भाई हमारा बुरा हुआ है ताकि मतलब it's a
neutral opinion.
Yes, and it's a trust platform. ना किसी का अच्छा हुआ है अच्छा लिखे, बुरा हुआ है बुरा लिखे, नहीं लिखना ना लिखे.
Exactly.
Kind of.
And I believe with every brand this happens. No brand in the world can say कि हमारे सारे customers happy हैं. I mean, problems do come because when you're faced with technology, for example, or when you're faced with people, for example, so you have good experiences, you have bad experiences, and I think the way to judge and the metric should be कि आप ratio देख लें कि what percentage of people are talking good about a certain brand and what percentage is talking bad. So if the bad percentage is higher, then probably there is something wrong definitely with the brand. So if the good percentage is higher, then of course, the brand is generally doing good, which is a great thing as far as Pakistani market is concerned. Actually, you've also been a war journalist and you've had scary moments in that journalism. So, आप podcast से पहले off the record हम share कर रहे थे. I would want that incident because it was a very heart-touching incident and also very shocking incident at the same time. So I would want कि आप हमारी audience के साथ भी वो इंसिडेंट पर्टिकुलर जो है वो शेयर करें. So describe that incident, please.
So basically, this is जब क्वेटा में बहुत ज़्यादा bomb blast हुए थे. Obviously, as somebody who's reporting on terrorism, I was always exposed to लश्कर-ए-तैयबा के लोग या अल-कायदा के लोग या तालिबान मुझे अपनी बहन कहते थे. So I was very because terrorism में तो फिर आपके माइंड में यही आता है ना, स्पेशली जब आप पाकिस्तान की बात कर रहे हो. तो Guantanamo detainees, like मैंने इस तरह के लोगों में बहुत टाइम स्पेंड किया हुआ है. So this is when क्वेटा में suicide bomb blast बहुत हो रहे थे. And my second son was a baby. I think it was like 2 months. So I was exclusively breastfeeding him. तो जब मुझे assignment मिली तो I took him with me. And क्वेटा में आप I would wear an abaya and cover my head. Because as a journalist आपकी कोशिश ये होती है कि आप लोगों में मिल जाओ, तभी आप रिपोर्ट कर सकते हो. अगर आप खुद एक attention बन रहे हो तो फिर तो आप रिपोर्ट नहीं कर सकते. So फिर what I did was that so Ahil को मैं I was feeding him, वो मेरे अबाया के नीचे ही छुपा हुआ था. And we were in a car and we were headed towards an interview. तो हमसे like कोई 4 cars आगे there was a blast. And it was so close कि like our car shook really badly. And literally मतलब अगर मैं शीशा मैंने जब नीचे किया तो I could smell the fire. It was really bad. And Ahil को तो नहीं पता चला. He was like मतलब just the car shook. But at that moment I realized कि कभी-कभी आप ऐसी career choices करते हो which endanger the lives of people who are dependent on you. And I feel वो एक fair decision नहीं होती. So when जब वो blast happened and the car shook and Ahil was with me, so I think तब it hit me that because I'd chosen to be a mother. Obviously motherhood is a decision we all choose to make. So maybe like I had lost perspective, and I think ये अक्सर होता है आप एक चीज़ पे इतना narrow minded हो जाते हो या आपका tunnel vision हो जाता है, you lose perspective of how it's affecting you and the people around you. So at that moment I gained perspective, and Allah ka shukr I gained perspective without any serious harm to myself or the baby. So then I decided at that point कि I'm not going to do, इसको हम कहते हैं shoe leather reporting in journalism, कि आप असल में सड़कों पे निकल के like अपने जूते घसीट you're actually wearing the leather of your shoes. So I really enjoy shoe leather reporting, and I think I'm very good at shoe leather reporting. Like when I would go into a scene, the stories I would come up with, या जो मैं उसमें से लिखती थी, वो in New York I won a lot of awards for the work I did, so I was very good at it. But I realized it's not possible. और मैंने like बहुत किया हुआ, मैंने stakeouts किए हुए हैं, like 24 घंटे आप एक ही लोकेशन पे रहते हो waiting for the source to come out. मैंने sneak-ins किए हुए हैं, मैंने बहुत कुछ किया हुआ in journalism when it comes to shoe leather reporting, and it was something जो मुझे बहुत पसंद है. Personally, I enjoy it. I'm attracted to it.
So, at any point in time after your children are all independent and you want to go back maybe to war journalism again, or you just
I would
made
love
peace with what
to
you're
go
doing today?
back to journalism. I'd love to, but I don't know because see when you're doing shoe leather reporting, the sources you're cultivating is kind of your strength.
Yeah.
So obviously, for many years now, I haven't used those sources because like I don't believe कि आप reporting phone पर बैठ के कर सकते हो. And obviously जिस field में मैं reporting करती थी आप phone पे तो कर ही नहीं सकते. Because वो लोग तो phone पे नहीं ज़्यादा बात करते ना. They want you there face to face. So so I feel कि in my case, what I would want to go back to doing in an ideal world is more writing. Because I love writing. That was the second thing I loved. So reporting मेरा पहला शौक था, but second was writing. So that is something. Shoe leather reporting, I don't know. Maybe if there's like a but दुनिया के लिए I was a national correspondent, so I would travel across Pakistan looking for stories and I would report on them. And that was like my dream job. Like मुझे बहुत शौक है of like reporting on these stories. I don't know if like an opportunity, because उस तरह की opportunities, it'd be harder for me to get that opportunity now. Because journalism में वो कहते हैं कि you're as good as your last headline. You're as good as your last story. So obviously my last story was now a few years ago. So maybe if there's someone who believes in me and believes in the work that I do and I get that opportunity, I think I would say yes, because it's something जिसका मुझे बहुत शौक है. But it's a question mark, because my last byline on terrorism was now a while ago. Right? पहले तो like रोज आती थी ना. So like I was myself also in the news. But let's see. Obviously, as life goes along, you change, your priorities change. And I don't think I'm in a bad place. But maybe I would want to have active journalism. Like, I do more editing and more media management. Because Scaryammi is a media platform. So मैं जब एक्सप्रेस न्यूज़ में भी आई वाज एट अ वेरी सीनियर पोजीशन और मेरी बहुत अमेजिंग सैलरी थी तब भी मुझे यही मुसीबत होती थी आई नीड टू बी इन द फील्ड
Yeah.
सो लेट्स सी maybe the opportunity will come to be back in the field.
Why not, inshallah. There's absolutely so much of it that you're doing in your life that I have absolutely no words to appreciate the very essence of what you have done in life and what you're doing right now, and your aspirations of what you want to do later on in life. So more power to you, Ayesha, and kudos on the work that you're doing. And we'd like to invite you some other time as well to the podcast, especially to talk about yourself and what you've been doing as an individual and how you've impacted lives. So but then again, that's for another session. I think we would like to end it here. It was a pleasure having you, Ayesha. This has been one of the best podcast sessions ever that I have done with any of the guests, man or woman combined.
Thank you. Thank
Right.
you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this was Ayesha Nasir, and it has been an amazing series of questions with her, and she's a very interesting human being. Do follow her on her Scaryammi Facebook page. The link is down below, and do follow us on eCube Solutions Private Limited on our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel. Last podcast में हमने आपको वादा किया था कि we'll be coming on with our YouTube channel as well. We have done that, so you can now follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Thank you so much once again for bearing with us and for listening to what we had to say. I hope we did not bore you, and see you again on the next show with another great individual on episode 4 of On the Grid with eCube Solutions. This is Waleed Rana signing off. Assalamu alaikum and Allah Hafiz.